Anime is one of the best forms of media of all time, and yet somehow all of the games suck. Growing up, I played a lot of cool anime games, right? Like there was Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the Naruto Storm games were fire, but as I got older, I started to realize a lot of these anime games are just ass. Like, I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, the animation in the games are always doo-doo. Like, they're just not good. And then on top of that, the game mechanics are also just terrible. I think the problem with a lot of anime games is they cannot really get down their formula. If it's a hack and slash, it's gonna be moving a certain way. If it's an open world game like Horizon Zero Dawn, it's gonna move a certain way. But with anime games, you could have one IP, let's say Naruto. You'll have an RPG here, you'll have an action game here. If you have all these different genres, there's not really a blueprint to follow. So everyone's working from scratch, and that ends up giving us a lot of shitty games. But the thing is, if the only problem with these anime games was that they all had a bunch of different genres, I would be okay with it because we'd have a good RPG game here, we'd have a decent open world over here. The whole issue is that these guys do not care. These anime gaming companies do not give a damn. They'll make the game for sure, that's something they'll definitely do, but once they make the game, it feels like their effort level goes from like 50% to negative 50%. Me and my brother, we played One Piece World Seeker, and that game was kind of decent. I was playing it and I'm thinking, if these guys put in actual effort and cared about what was going on, this game would be amazing, but it's not. The music is ass, the animation was terrible, at least for One Piece standards, and then there was nothing to do. They just take the IP, let's say Luffy, they'll take the nigga's face and then just plug it on a game and then ship that shit out for $60, and that's it. And the real frustrating part is when these anime companies give even a little bit of effort, niggas love it. It hasn't even been a year since Sparkling Zero came out, and that shit was insane. Everyone was on that game. You know why people stopped playing that game? Because they didn't patch it. It's very clear that with given enough effort, these anime games can be good. The really crazy part is I'm listing really popular IPs. Like, I listed Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. Those are like 3 of the most famous anime in history. If you're a fan of Fullmetal Alchemist, nigga, you're not getting a good game. Don't even think you're gonna get a good game. It's just not going to happen. It's really tough because I don't think it's that hard in the sense of their ideas aren't even good. You mean to tell me One Piece is the most famous anime in Japan and we don't have a One Piece open world? Even if it wasn't designed crazy, a One Piece open world game where you can pick your devil fruit and you can pick your crew members, that game would literally print money. Instead, we'll get a reskin of Naruto Storm 4. Especially with how popular anime is now, it is a big enough market that people would spend lots of money just to play the games. I feel like back in the day, like pre-2010, we got more creative games. I didn't really play all them anime games because again, I'm not too old. If you go on looking at the GameCube and Game Boy Advance, those kind of anime era games, there were a lot more games and they were a lot more creative. The premise and the idea of those games were just more interesting. But like now we don't get anything. Recently we got like a Demon Slayer game and like a My Hero Academia game. But let's be honest, bro. Like I watched the trailer. Those games just look like Naruto Storm 4. And it looks like a worse version of them too. First of all, as an anime, you have to be like insanely popular to even think about getting a game in current day. My Hero was crazy popular. Demon Slayer is crazy popular. One Piece, Naruto, like obviously those are insanely popular games. And then if you're that popular, you just hit the threshold of here's your Storm 4 ripoff. Like that shit's ass, bro. You mean to tell me that One Piece gets Burning Blood? I think it dropped in like 2016. Niggas haven't talked about that shit since 2015. That's how ass the game is. It is what it is. There's just nothing for us to talk about. Honestly, with how much money the IP of anime makes, there is just no way they can't put enough money and quality into these games. Let's be honest, right now, we're in an anime boom, and yet we don't get any good games. Again, I played Power Warriors 4, which was pretty fun, but these are all Storm-esque fighting games. Like Death Note, why can't we have like a Death Note mystery game? We could have a One Piece open world game. There's different genres of games, you know? I'm not even a crazy gamer anymore, but I would love to play some of these games from time to time. A lot of reason that people love anime is because anime is fire. Like at the end of the day, anime is cool. People like watching it. It's kind of the reason why solo leveling went crazy, why niggas loved solo leveling. When you look at that, it's like the anime games would write themselves because people want to play as Luffy or people want to be like Naruto. Not running like Naruto, but you know what I'm trying to say. Giving people the ability to play as Naruto or play as a ninja would be cool. And that's just talking about games in series. Like that's just talking about a Bleach game, only Bleach or only Naruto. But the craziest gaming ideas would be the crossover video games, which we're gonna touch on because that might be more disappointing. Every anime fan wants to settle the age-old score of could Naruto beat Goku or could Ichigo beat Luffy. We always want to see these cross-verse fights in anime, and we never really can get that, right? Because they're different series. It's too much shit that will go on. So the idea of anime crossover battles is like peak fiction to everyone involved. Obviously, these companies know about that, which is why we've gotten crossover anime games. It's actually unfortunate because despite this being a really cool, ambitious idea, these are probably the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life. pick a game, this shit might be worse. With these crossover games, it's just so much promise, yet so bad. So we get a bunch of different anime characters from different verses, and it's a cool idea because we're excited to see which characters from which anime will get involved in the game. But when the game finally drops, it is always ass. I know it's a little hard because all these different anime have different art styles and animation, so combining into one game is gonna be hard, but y'all could do better than this, bro. Let's look at Jump Force. Jump Force looks like you took a game and you like deep fried it and covered it in oil. It's just an ugly game. I'm not even a crazy stickler about that, but this game does not look good. And then when you get into the actual gameplay, it's not fun. And it's kind of crazy because in every other universe, you can't tell me if I give you the ability to play as Naruto and play as Luffy fighting each other, how is that not peak? There's no way that you can make that into a bad game. Yet these niggas did that. I simply cannot understand why that happens. And probably the worst part is, despite all of that, every time they drop an anime game, they get us again. Every time they get us, they'll drop a trailer with Ichigo going Final Getsuga Tensho, and niggas would be like, yo, this shit about to be peak. Like, nigga, you know it's not gonna be peak. Why are you lying to yourself? And I'm not gonna act like I'm not one of those niggas. That shit happened to me. When Jump Force came out, I was hyped. They had that nigga Yugi in that game. I said, my nigga Yugi, I was hyped to get the game. I never did though, because it's ass. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it should be so easy. Now, obviously, I know I'm not like $1 billion company or whatever, so I'm not saying just snap and make a game happen, but you can't tell me it's this hard. There are plenty of formulas out there that they can copy and mimic to create a game to a similar quality of, let's say, like God of War or Assassin's Creed. I think it's just a factor of it being lazy. I'm tired of the fighting games. I don't want to see a Naruto Storm copy. I'm tired of the shitty games, like the shitty ideas, just throwing slob out there. The thing that's crazy is series like One Piece and Naruto. Some of those series have had some good video games, but for the most part, we don't get good video games. If you are a fan of Death Note, your last good game was probably on the Game Boy Advance, and that shit is sad because that's a good anime. Or Full Metal Alchemist. I don't even know if Full Metal Alchemist has an anime game in America, bro. That's how bad it is. The only thing with some of these anime games is that it feels like when they strike gold even slightly, they just abandon the idea. So the Storm games, they kind of hit their ceiling. Naruto's over. There was not much they could do. But let's look at even like One Piece Power Warriors 4. That was a game me and my brother played a lot of, especially during COVID. That was a cool game. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fun. But they just kind of left it for dead. It got one update, I think, with Roger and stuff, and a younger Rayleigh, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and they got Gear 5, but then they just left it alone. And I think that's a wasted opportunity. Like, we got a lot of cool One Piece stuff, right? We have Harold now in the series. We have Garland. We have a lot of cool characters that we could get updates on. Give us some more stages, so we would be able to play the game for a lot longer. Like, let's be honest, bro. If you put in time and energy into a game, or at least let people mod it, that game will go on forever. Niggas still play GTA 5, and that shit came out in 2013, bro. That's almost 13 years straight up. I know it's because of mods, but that's just because they have more things to do in the game. Obviously, I know I spent like a good amount of time shitting on the Storm games, and I'm saying to keep making material for Power Warriors 4, but I'm just saying that if we have a good game, don't let it die. There are some other games that we get and they just kind of leave it to die. But even just in terms of like the genres, we should get other type of genres and stuff as well. The point is, anime video games suck because they want to be one genre. Niggas want to create the Naruto Storm series of anime, and every time they make a new version, it's worse than the last. All I want with anime video games is for them to be created with some personality. Just give like an ounce of a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm asking for. And make a Reborn game too, please. Like, I know it's not gonna happen, but like, that would mean something to me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about anime video games. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. Let me know what your ideal video game would be as well in the comments. I'm out, so peace.